What's up, you guys? It's Jason from RPM, and today we're going to be looking at some fan override kits and switches that we have for the Maverick R. We have these for the X3s, we have them for a few other models, so obviously you knew we were going to develop them for the Maverick R, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, the Maverick R has 2 intercooler fans, and they have 3 radiator fans. 2 of those fans for the radiator are located in the back, and your 2 intercooler fans are obviously located here on your intercooler. And what we have done is we wanted an option to maybe make those run all the time. Maybe guys didn't want to depend on the factory to turn it on. Maybe it was turning on, they feel like their car is getting too hot, too soon, too long. You can just run it as long and as often as you want at the turn of a switch. And here's the catch. If you forget the switch to turn it on, it's all right. The factory is still going to activate the fans to turn on. So if you leave yours on and the factory goes to activate it, it's already on. If you forget to turn them on or you just don't care at the time, the factory ECU is still going to trigger the relays to turn them on. So no harm, no foul. It's not like you have to depend on these switches to run the fans. So they will still run on the factory triggers. This is kind of what the harness looks like. You're going to pin on to a accessory keyed power and a ground, and our relays here are all super nice, super waterproof, and we have rocker switches, which are included, and we're gonna have 3 different styles, and we'll go over that in a minute. And then depending on which fans you're trying to turn on, what kit you buy will depend on what the plugs of yours look like. So on the radiators, you have just 1 female, 1 male in and out override. It'll trigger both fans. If you're trying to override your intercoolers, since they're both separate, they will have a pigtail like this. So you'll be pigging on 1 intercooler fan and then the other intercooler fan. Then our harness will plug into here. It will turn on both fans at the same time. So if you want to do intercooler and radiator, that would be 2 harnesses, but we do have an option for just 1 switch. So you don't have to run 2 switches if you want to override all 4 fans or both kits. It would just be 1 switch, and it's just our fan override switch. Otherwise, you have your intercooler override switch or your radiator fan override switch. So that's kind of how the wiring works. If that doesn't make sense on our website, it'll be a little bit more clear on what you're ordering, what it does, and what kit you need. So I tried to explain it the best, but if you're not in front of the car, it's kind of hard to explain. So let's go take a look at what we're doing and where we're doing it at. On the Maverick R, it's super easy to wire stuff. We have the passenger seat out of the car. There's a bus bar right below the cup holders actually on the Maverick. And then Can-Am has been generous enough to locate a second bus bar on the front of the car. So if you're pulling your wiring, a lot of guys will pull wiring to the back or to the middle, and they'll have it all there when they need it. If not, you already have a bus bar there. So let's climb in here and take a look at what we're messing with. All right, guys, so on this car, for display purposes, we do have 2 toggles to show you. We have the radiator fan override and we have the intercooler fan override. If you were to buy both of these kits, you would get just 1 toggle switch that says fan override. So that's how that looks. And now we're going to access the power supply that Can-Am has factory right here. It's a little bus bar setup. It's just 1 screw on the Maverick R. I'll show you something that's kind of nice on the Maverick R. Look, it just pulls right out of there. We just kind of lift ours up out of the way like this. And then right here is the bus bar. Your factory bus bar is all right there. So this is your, the top one is your keyed accessory power. That's where your reds need to go. The bottom one is your ground. That's where your blacks need to go. Super easy to install. Obviously we have the seat out, so that makes it a little bit easier. If you don't, it's 2 19s and 2 13s to remove the seat. Super accessible. You can drop all your wiring there. Any accessories you have can be on there, and you also have 1 up front, obviously. So back to the back of the car, let's take a look at where everything's located so you kind of have an idea of what you're working with. Back here are your radiator fans. You got 2 little guys there. Up here are your intercooler fans. This is your passenger side, and you're going to have a driver side over there. Your plugs are located here. You have 1 there and 1 back right here. The radiator ones I have pulled down right here to show you. Look something like that. And you only need to plug into 1. We plug into our passenger side fan, and that will activate both fans. And when you're done, you've got these nice little clips. They just slide right back up into place, and you're good to go as far as mounting them there. It's super easy. There's plenty of areas to wire on this car. They have a nice clean firewall plug. And I think that's pretty well wrapped. In the future, we are going to likely be having brushless fan upgrades for these. For probably all 5 fans, we'll probably have brushless fan upgrades. So keep an eye for that in the future. We've been doing brushless fan upgrades on the X3s already. Yeah, they've been working great. So we're excited to get these fans figured out, these motors figured out, and gonna put some brushless power behind them, draw a lot more air through, seal up the intercooler shrouds and such. And yeah, it's all about the performance here. So we've been cranking out parts left and right. If you guys haven't seen our other videos yet, obviously we have full silicone options, tons of exhaust options. We have catch cans, our silicone right there. We have some trick catch can options for the Maverick R, and obviously, you know, mid pipes and mufflers galore. So we've been cranking out parts for this car. You can catch them all at our YouTube channel, of course, here, and RPMSxS.com.